And I'm Heather Branch here with Abe, asking for his ideas on the things you can be working on now to better prepare for your financial future. If you have questions, we're here to help you get some answers. TheRetirementKey.com is where you can go to start the conversation with Abe and the entire team at Abish Financial Services. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there, or again, find us anytime at TheRetirementKey.com. Summer is upon us, so it's road trip season for many people. And I think you're more like me. I would rather fly than drive if I can.
I would as well. I mean, the long road trips during the summer, especially on 95, if you have to get on 95, oh man.
Get about it.
Yeah. Say some long prayers before you get on 95 on a Sunday. My goodness. But Shelly doesn't mind it so much. You know why?
She doesn't mind driving?
Me captive in the car. This is quality time for her. 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. She doesn't care. I'm like, Shelly, we could just fly down to Charleston. You know, it might take 4 or 5 hours altogether. The flight's like an hour, but then getting to the airport early, driving to the condo in Charleston. I'm like, Shelly, it could take 4 or 5 hours instead of 8 to 10. I don't care. I like being in the car.
She wants the time.
But yeah, I'd rather
fly. I love that you guys
drive.
work together, and then of course you live together as husband and wife. It's never enough. Your life loves you, man.
Yep. Oh yeah. I guess that's a good thing.
It's a great thing.
Of course.
And so then your wife and my husband have that in common. They would rather drive than fly. You and I are the flyers. But when it comes to how we approach our road trip, the speed that we choose to take, actually, there's some correlation with our investment styles and strategies.
Sure.
And an interesting analogy that came from some studies. I want to talk to you about that coming up a little bit later on this half hour. But first, let's talk taxes, shall we?
Oh, let's do it.
It's always a good time to talk taxes.
Financial planning and retirement planning topic, of course. Let's talk about it.
It's always a good time to talk when you know you can be working to save on taxes. That is goals.
That's right.
But here's the thing. So the Biden administration is looking at proposing new taxes on the wealthiest Americans. That's what they're saying.
Course.
No, we're not taxing everybody. We want to tax the riches.
Of course.
And here's the thing. If you think you're going to be spared from this, consider what a TikTok contributor who goes by the name The Older Millennial had to say about tax history in our country.
The original income tax was the wealthiest 1% of Americans had to pay a 1% tax on their income. And of course, it passed easily. Everybody was in favor of it. Even most of the 1% didn't oppose it. But now the average American pays anywhere from 27 to 50% of their income in taxes. Guys, there has never been a tax that has been instituted by the government on the wealthiest 1% that has not grown to encompass everyone in America. Because that's the hard part for the government, passing a new tax. But once they get the American people to agree to that tax, well, then they have the authority to just raise it as time goes on.
That's very interesting perspective to think about. All they need to do is to get that door open just a little bit, and then they just kick it open the rest of the way, Abe.
That's right.
And
Middle
here we
America
are.
pays. Middle America pays.
That's it, exactly.
That's where most of the income and wealth is. You know, the ultra wealthy have a lot of wealth, but look at Middle American. That's the biggest population here in the country in terms of income and assets, and the segment of the population that gets hit the hardest when these rules change. And so the government knows we're sitting on, like the average retiree in this DC metro area, the average person we see has 2 or 3 million, $1 million to 5 million, a lot of, right?
Yeah.
And that person has done what so many people recommended them to do, is stuff their 401k accounts and TSPs with pre-tax dollars.
Yeah.
Get the match, because when you retire, you're going to be in a lower tax bracket. And that's certainly not the case for so many people in this area. For some it is, but for most it isn't, especially those of you listening and those that have pensions, federal pensions, state pensions, county pensions, a couple Social Security checks, and then a few million or more dollars on top of it. Look out. You could easily have more income in retirement than you did when you were working. And you may be thinking, well, that's not a bad problem to have. And no, it's not. It's not a bad problem. It's a fantastic problem to have more income in retirement than when you were working. However, if all that income is taxed, and let's say you've got, $300,000 or $400,000 of retirement income when you had 100 to 200 when you were working, and it's all taxed, and there's no tax shelter, there's no tax protection. for those dollars as they come out in your tax and taxes go up, you could be looking at paying more tax on those retirement assets than today or in the very near future, which is why we talk about taxes all the time. If you think, right, about all the risks that can mess up a great retirement plan, the common ones are market risk, healthcare risk, inflation risk. There could be legislative and even political risk. Maybe laws and rules change, but taxes would be one of those risks that if taxes go up, and where we are as in terms of the country financially, I mean, almost $35 trillion in national debt and counting, and then problems with the Social Security program probably in the 2030s. How do you conquer and tackle these massive financial problems as a country? One of them is probably going to be raising taxes. And taxes right now are pretty darn fair. I mean, most people are in the 22 to 24% brackets. So if you're listening, you're concerned with taxes going up affecting your retirement accounts, then listen up. You can do a lot about that. And so we just had a couple call in and come into the office from Waldorf, and that is a little bit of a hike, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on time of day and traffic, hour and a half to 2 hour drive. But hey, you're talking about someone managing your life savings. Wouldn't it be worth it to get in the car and go for a nice drive for 90 minutes just to make sure you're working with the right firm, a firm that you can work with for the rest of your life that is managing and you're trusting with to manage your life savings. In their early 60s, retiring soon. Heather, they're a 6 on our risk scale. And so one of the problems was that they are with a big box firm. We talk about big box firms all the time, and there's nothing wrong with them except they're big box firms, right? So you may not have the relationship that's ideal for you for this next phase of retirement. And you're probably just a number, right? You're a number. You might be one of millions of clients. Okay, maybe they have trillions of dollars of assets, but you're one of millions of clients and probably not getting treated the way you need to get treated, and also probably not having the plan that you need for phase 2 as you transition into retirement. So as they came in for their comprehensive analysis, one of the main things they wanted to address was taxes. They're asking their guy at this big box firm, can you guys help us with taxes, a plan to lower and mitigate taxes as much as possible on our retirement savings? The advisor's first response was, no, we can't do that. Let me call corporate. Call corporate. Corporate says, yeah, you can do that. So now they're trying to just build this software on a whim and show the advisor how he can do it. No, that's not what you want. You don't want an advisory firm that just says, oh, yeah, by the way, we can do that too. No,
well, especially when the guy originally said, no, we can't do that. It's
exactly
like, well, which is it? Get it together.
So clearly that tells you, client, that this is not the right firm for you if taxes are an important part of your retirement plan, and that you're concerned with taxes going up and how to address them. So they came in for a second opinion, heard us here on WMAL on the show, and came into the office for that second opinion, and concerned with taxes. And by the way, they're paying nearly 2% in annual advisory fees when you add in the fund expenses and advisory fees, which is really high. We are able to get that all-in fee down substantially, down around the 1% range. And for them, with $2 million, that was an annual savings of almost $20,000 a year in just advisory fees and fund expenses. That is substantial.
Yeah.
$20,000 a year difference.
Well, just think about that out. If your boss were to tell you, we're going to give you a $20,000 raise this year.
What would you do with it?
Essentially the same thing.
Where would you go? And so I was letting them know, this is a substantial difference. I mean, it's not all the time that we see such a substantial difference in cost and risk in the plan overall. But for them, it was. And you take 20 grand out times 10, 20, 30 years. That is a substantial difference in someone's retirement plan, just because they're now working with the right type of firm, with the right type of plan that can help them comprehensively to include taxes and all this. So that was a solution, a new plan to include the tax planning, to lower fees, to lower risk, to include the tax planning. So if you sound like this couple from Waldorf, Maryland, and you say, Abe, I've got a few million as well. I don't have a comprehensive plan. I'm either managing it on my own, or I'm with a big box phase 1 firm as well. Also not sure about my fees. I have a feeling my fees could be lower. I have a feeling I'm taking on more risk than I need to. Go to the retirementkey.com. That's our website. Click on the Contact Us tab at the top of that page, and we can begin to have these same conversations about your retirement and your tax plan as well.
We also have links posted in the show notes. So you can just click there if that's more convenient. We'll take you to the website, which again is theretirementkey.com. All right. So besides tax advice and maybe some wrong tax advice we might get from big box of firms, if any at all, here's a really interesting story that I wanted to ask you about. Listen to this woman. She wrote in to an advice column on MarketWatch asking about her scenario. She's a 62-year-old woman. She says, I own my own home. I have no debt. I do have a 401k and an IRA and long-term care insurance. With a 4% withdrawal, I replaced 90% of my pre-retirement income. Not to mention, I also have a non-retirement account from which I could take 4% monthly and bump my income up to 140% of my working year's income if necessary. My kids are telling me to go and spend and enjoy my money. My advisor says I should keep saving. What should I do? Abe, what would you tell this woman?
So I would say shame on the advisor. And clearly that is a phase one accumulation-based, investment-focused and based advisor. If they're telling you, hold on to your money, lady, don't spend it, don't enjoy it. I mean, are you kidding me?
What's the point?
What's the point of saving this money? And so I'll tell people all the time, Heather, when they come in to meet with myself and our team, you need the permission to spend. And they'll look at me and they'll start laughing like, I don't know how to spend. And let me show, I'm going to show you how to spend. We're going to show you how to put together an income generating plan that allows you to spend, that shows you how you can not only continue to grow your money, but protect it and turn it into an income generating machine at the same time. That is exactly what every retiree wants and deserves. I'll ask people all the time, just like for this lady who's got over 100% of her income covered in retirement. If you could turn this $2 or $3 million into interest income, right? Let's say you could generate $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year of interest income. Would you do that if you knew that you could preserve your principal every single time without fail? It's yes. Yes, I would. Of course I would. That's exactly what we want to hear. And that's how we help people. And so we just had a couple come in from Purcellville, Virginia, who fits this bill, $1.5 million saved, retiring soon. They've self-managed and accumulated, but had no idea about anything in phase two, no idea about distributions, RMDs, taxes, healthcare, estate planning, everything really needed in phase two to go along with those investments, to include an income generating plan with the permission to spend. You may be thinking, Abe, you're right. You're darn right, Abe. I need the permission to spend as well. I need a plan where my advisor is not telling me to hold on to my money. Because if you think about it, why would your advisor be telling you not to spend and to save more? Well, their fee goes up the more you don't touch your money, right? The more you save, the fee goes up because the balance goes up. And the more you don't tap into it for income, the accounts are just getting larger, right? We're going to continue to be okay in terms of managing money and earning our keep and living. But at the same time, clients need and deserve a great retirement where they can turn all that money, that 30 to 40 years of work, into an income generating retirement that allows them to go about and do all they want to do in retirement. I mean, that's what this money was saved for. And if you're currently working with somebody right now that's not telling you that's okay to do, you need to fire that firm and leave them right away and find a phase two firm that focuses on income and distributions. So if you sound like this couple from Purcellville, Virginia, and you say, you know what, Abe, I don't have a phase two plan. I need permission to spend. We knew how to save. We knew how to put it away. We knew how to accumulate. We don't know how to distribute. We're not comfortable with it. We need a specialist. We need a firm to work with that can help us with this, hold our hands into phase two retirement. So go to our website, theretirementkey.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin to have these same conversations about retirement income with you as well.
We also have links posted in the show notes. If it's more convenient, you can just click there. That will take you to our website. Or again, visit us anytime. Let's get to work creating your retirement income plan. Go to theretirementkey.com.